Hello, my name is Debra Kehrer, and I'm asking for your vote for Westland City Council on Tuesday, November 5th. I have lived in Westland for 35 years. I'm married, have 3 grown children, and 2 grandsons. I worked for the United States Postal Service and retired after 30 years. During that 30 years, I was a city carrier, union steward, retail clerk, and my last 10 years as a supervisor of customer service. When I'm knocking on doors, many people say, every candidate boasts about their community service. What's so special about yours? Well, let me tell you. I started my community service in 1978 with the Jaycees. Ironically, women weren't considered full members until 1983. At that time, I jumped in with both feet. I dedicated my life working on projects to help my community, such as delivering hundreds of Christmas food baskets every year, raising money for First Step, a shelter for abused women, Christmas dinner for the police officers who had to work during the holidays, raising funds to build and maintain Jaycee Park, raising tens of thousands of dollars which stayed in our community to help those in need. As a district director for the Michigan Jaycees, I was in charge of managing 7 chapters with 465 members. My work in the community and the Michigan Jaycees brought to me a lot of recognition and many awards, but my greatest honor was being awarded a United States Jaycee International Senatorship, which is an award given nationally to approximately 1 out of every 50,000 Jaycees in the United States. When I claim community service, that doesn't mean I join a community organization or nonprofit group, show up at 1 or 2 events a year to get my picture taken and claim community service. That's not me. When I decided to do something, I go all in. Now let's talk about some of the concerns or issues that I have discussed with the residents when standing on their porch asking for their vote. Almost everyone brings up the condition of our roads. I looked into this and found out 80% of the funding for roads comes from the federal, state, and county governments. The funding for roads does not come from property taxes that the residents pay to the city. It comes from specialty taxes like the gas tax, sales tax, and vehicle registration fees. It seems to me that we need to be pressuring the sources of where that money comes from. It was never intended or designed for the cities to be repairing all these roads. That's not how this is supposed to work. Now let's talk about recycling. Well, why aren't we recycling? Some realize it's because our processing center has closed, yet others think it was a conscious decision to just stop recycling. With little research, it was easy to determine the places that accept recyclable goods are shutting down all over the state and country. There is no longer a market for the recyclable goods. This means that private industry will not be opening up any facilities in the near future. This will most likely leave burden on the local governments and the taxpayers to open up their own facility that will most likely operate at a loss of taxpayer dollars. Now the hot button that everyone brings up. How do we increase the manpower in our police and fire departments? After so many people asked me this, I questioned and I decided to dive into the city budget. From what I could determine, the general fund receives $25 million in property tax revenues, $9 million in state shared revenues, and $16 million from other sources. So that's $50 million to the general fund in unreserved dollars that can be spent at the City Council's discretion. Last year, the city spent $33 million on public safety. This public safety expenditure represents 66% of our discretionary spending. I think this shows a big commitment by the city to our public safety. Over the last 8 years, the city has cut non-police and fire employees by more than 20%. They have also eliminated pensions and retiree health care for all hourly and salary employees, including the mayor and the clerk. This shows that there is no room to keep cutting personnel and departments to fund the hiring of more public safety employees. The only viable way to increase the staffing of public safety is to come up with new revenue sources. I'm not sure what these revenue sources may be, but it can't come from cutting more city services. I would like to thank WL&D for giving me this opportunity, and also I would like to thank Mayor William R. Wild, Councilman James Hart, the Westland Democratic Club, and the hardworking employees at Local 1602 for their endorsement of my campaign. My name is Debra Kehrer. I humbly ask for your vote on Tuesday, November 5th. Please contact me with any questions at 734-748-3952. Again, 734-748-3952. Or email electdebracare, all one word, @gmail.com. Thank you.